3 Russian servicemen are dead after Russia shoots down a Ukrainian drone as it approached the Engels airbase deep inside Russian territory.
Tensions escalate as South Korea scrambles jets and fires warning shots after 5 North Korean drones cross over into its territory.
Russia's military says 3 servicemen at its Engels airbase have been killed by debris from a Ukrainian drone shot down as it approached the area. No damage was inflicted on Russian aircraft, officials said, but the incident raises questions about the effectiveness of Moscow's air defense if drones can fly so far into the country. Engels is located more than 600 kilometers east of the Ukrainian border in the Saratov region. A spokesperson for Ukraine's Air Force didn't acknowledge responsibility for the drones, but said the incident is the consequence of Russian aggression. For many Ukrainian Orthodox Christians, Christmas came early this year. Traditionally, they observe the holiday in January, like many Russians. But as the war rages on, moving the date is another way of standing apart from their aggressor. President Zelensky sent Christmas greetings to those who celebrate, but warned that the holiday won't mean an end to Russian attacks. Moscow, he said, is trying to compensate for its losses by shelling Ukraine and its energy infrastructure. The darkness, he said, won't prevent Ukraine's troops from further victories, but citizens have to be ready for any scenario. Russian President Vladimir Putin, meanwhile, told state-owned broadcaster RTR that he's ready to start peace talks. I believe we're acting in the right direction. We're defending our national interests, the interests of our citizens, our people. However, we are prepared to negotiate some acceptable outcomes with the participants of this process. But it's their business. It's not us who refuse talks. It's them. Russia's defense ministry on Sunday released footage which it claimed shows a military priest serving on the front lines, conducting services even as Russian forces continue their strikes on Ukraine.
South Korea has scrambled its air force and fired warning shots after 5 North Korean drones crossed over into its territory. The incursion comes amid increased tensions between the 2 countries, with the North having conducted an unprecedented number of missile tests this year. A spokesperson for the South Korean military says the drones were seen over the northern part of the country and one reportedly flew near the capital, Seoul.
This is a clear provocation by North Korea, violating South Korean airspace. They are small drones of 2-meter class or smaller. One flew to the northern part of the metropolitan area, and the others were around Gangwon-do. Our military immediately responded in self-defense.
It's not clear whether any of the drones were downed. The South Korean military also says it sends surveillance planes into the north to photograph its military installations.
Members of France's Kurdish community have led a silent march through Paris in honour of 3 Kurds killed in the capital on Friday. Some of those marching say police should have done more to protect them. Prosecutors say a 69-year-old Frenchman is facing preliminary charges of racially motivated murder, attempted murder and weapons violations. The suspect told investigators he had aimed to kill migrants or foreigners and that he had planned to kill himself, saying that he had a pathological hatred of non-European foreigners. He was briefly put in psychiatric care but then released back into ordinary police custody. On Monday, he appeared before an investigating judge. The suspect's name has not been officially released, though he is identified by French media as being William K.
Dozens of people have died in the U.S. as an extreme winter storm continues to batter parts of the country, with a blizzard causing dangerous travel conditions. The storm unleashed its full fury on Buffalo in the state of New York, with hurricane-force winds causing whiteout conditions. More than 300,000 homes and businesses found themselves without power on Christmas Eve. Thousands of flights have been cancelled during the festive period. The storm is nearly unprecedented in its scope, stretching from Canada to the Texas border.
So thick and heavy that
About 60% of the U.S. population faces some sort of winter weather advisory or warning.
North Macedonia has imposed emergency measures in the capital Skopje and 3 other cities to tackle soaring pollution levels. They've now risen to 28 times the safety threshold established by the World Health Organization. Sporting events have been cancelled and construction work limited to just 6 hours a day.
I feel the spiciness in my nose. I go with a mask regularly. I don't go out, only when I really need to, when I need to pick up my child from school, take him home, and that's it. The smells are very bad, and beyond that, problems arise, coughs and colds.
Those with asthma and other chronic conditions are the most vulnerable. The government has also ordered welfare ministries to provide shelter for homeless people. Residents burning unclean fuels to heat their homes, vehicle emissions and industrial emissions are believed to be big causes of the smog. IQ Air, a Swiss air quality technology company, has ranked North Macedonia's capital as the 3rd most polluted city in the world right now.
at least 6 people have died after a bus plunged into a river in northwestern Spain over the weekend. Another 2 people, including the bus driver, were eventually rescued and taken to the hospital. The rescue effort was forced to temporarily stop overnight because of bad weather and heavy rain, and then resumed the following day with the help of mountain rescue units and a helicopter. Officials believe there were either 8 or 9 passengers on board at the time of the crash, and its cause is still unknown. UK police are asking the public for help in their hunt for a gunman who shot and killed a 26-year-old woman on Christmas Eve. The woman died after the gunman opened fire in a pub in northwest England, injuring 4 other people, one of whom is in critical condition. Authorities say they don't believe the woman was the gunman's main target. Police are looking for witnesses and CCTV or cell phone footage of the incident to better figure out what happened. Shootings in the UK are rare, and many people, including some police officers, are not allowed to carry guns.
It's one of the most prominent animated films of 2022. Aurora Sunrise is Armenia's submission for Best International Feature Film at the 2023 Academy Awards.
You cannot possibly imagine how important your story is.
It tells the true and inspiring story of Aurora Mardiganian, an Armenian genocide survivor whose harrowing ordeal became the subject of a film in the 1920s. Its director caught up with Euronews' culture editor Frédéric Ponsard.
When I became familiar with the story of Aurora Mardiganian and her testimony, I understood that this is a unique way to talk about the pain of my nation, but through very personal and unique story of a young girl who survived genocide, but never gave up and never lost her humanity, and at the same time tried to help her people.
After her escape to New York, her 1918 book was adapted for the screen as Auction of Souls. She played herself in the film, which described the violence she and her family experienced. Aurora's Sunrise uses animation and archival footage to tell her story, and in doing so also the story of her people.
Despite being talking about heavy topics about genocide, I always tried to show the beauty of the land and of connection that my character and we all Armenians do have with our land and our memories and our bright parts of our past. And that's why I think animation and illustrations were the greatest tool to capture that beauty and memories of my main character.
And sooner or later, all you're going to die. There will be no one single Armenian to leave.